Alright, back at the Qantas lounge, as you can see, in Cairns. Nice, relatively quiet place to actually record, so I might as well tell you what happened. I didn't sleep very well. I actually took a sleeping pill, but it only got me about 3 hours sleep, I think. Something like that, yeah. And I woke at about 1:40 in the morning, put the alarm on for 4:45 so it could get me ready for the 5:30 taxi I'd ordered. Got that all organised in time, just in time. I was surprised. I needed all the time I had. No hassles getting to the airport, everything's fine. I had to print out because it's Jetstar, I had to print out the baggage tags and also the boarding pass. I don't know where my seat is. It's up the front somewhere, which I don't really need because basically I got stacks of time between flights. If the flight leaves at 7:20 on schedule, I'll be in Sydney a little after 10 for a 3:20 in the afternoon flight in the international departure terminal. I've got to get a bus apparently to get from one to domestic to there, so I've got stacks of time, so I don't like to have stress when I'm doing I've got to have connections, so I've got plenty of time. It took a while to, there was no one actually queuing up for check-in, so that was fine. The security line was quite long and took a while. There's only one open, so it was quite banked up. But got through okay. I had to have an extra check with the guy for the explosives. Sticks a little rod into your stuff and checks it out. So yeah, all in all, pretty smooth, good cabbie, no hassle-free trip here. Cost me a little over $20, and now I'm just waiting for boarding for the first flight of 2 today. So hopefully I'll sleep all right on the main leg up to Vietnam. It's about 8 hours, so it gets stacks of time to sleep there. And I've paid for that ticket, so I know where I'm sitting at least. So that's good. So once I get checked in for the international, that'll be basically most of the hassles out of the way for getting the visa on arrival in Vietnam. So that's it. So a very long day has commenced. Alright, finally at the international terminal in Sydney. Had a fairly uneventful flight from Cairns down here. That was okay, except for the fact that there was a guy with his 2 young kids sitting behind me, and one of those kids kept coughing continually, so I'm just hoping they didn't catch anything. That would be the last thing I want to do. Another funny, quirky thing that happened was that the guy sitting opposite me in my row, there was no one in between us. He was wearing an airline uniform, like he was a pilot or a co-pilot or some sort of something to do with actually being in the cockpit, considering he had the ribbons over the shoulders which would indicate that he was maybe a captain, co-captain or whatever. But the weird thing is that when we were about to take off, he pulled the shade down. I mean, that's a big no-no. You just don't do that. And he had to be ticked off by the air hostess who walked past. So there you go. Very strange. Yeah, the flight was fine. It was only about 3/4 full. And then I got to Sydney and I discovered that I'd need to actually get a shuttle bus across from domestic terminal to here, which is the international. My flight's on the board, even though it's 3:20 in the afternoon. My flight's due to leave. It's now only a little after 11 o'clock, and I'm at right down the other end of the terminal, big surprise, big Jetstar, of course that'd be J, which is one of the last letters. And even though it's on the board, departures, I can't check in until 3 hours prior to the flight, so I've got to wait over an hour before I can check my large luggage in. The other thing I discovered during my flight down here is that I did miss one major item of packing, and that was my new camera, the camcorder, the Sony camcorder. I forgot to pack the bloody thing. It's a classic example of out of sight, out of mind. If I'd put it next to the stuff I was packing earlier that day, I would have remembered it, no problem. But because it was sitting in a cupboard, I forgot all about it. And so that's a bit of a blow. And the stupid thing is I actually did pack the connection cord for it, but I didn't actually pack the actual device itself, so that's brilliant. So now it's just a waiting game. The good thing about this airport is at least there's a few seats. It's a huge departure area, and like I say, there are plenty of spare seats, which is a big improvement on, say, the likes of Denpasar, which in the public area of Denpasar, before you actually check in, there's bugger all spare seats. So this is much better than Melbourne, far less chaotic than what I've seen so far. So yeah, I'd say that, and there was one final note I'll make. I had a chat to this English lady who'd, I think she'd been working in Brunei, and she ended up going down to Melbourne for some reason. And yeah, she said that they had the 2 coldest days in 25 years the last 2 days. My cousin didn't mention that to me, funnily enough. But when I got out of the terminal here, it felt bitterly cold to me. It's probably about 15 degrees, but this is Sydney, and I find this cold. So Melbourne would be horrendous. I'm going to be ending up in Melbourne on the return leg, but I probably won't have to leave the terminal, so that'll be a great godsend. There is a free shuttle bus between the 2 terminals, but there's plenty of people trying to make money out of shuffling from one terminal to another as well. But no, the shuttle service seemed to work perfectly well, so that was good. So I'm up in departures in just another hour's time, and I'll be able to go in and get rid of my big luggage and prepare for my final trip to Ho Chi Minh. It's nice to finally get that first flight out of the way anyway. So now it's the business end of the day's journey, which is good. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.